Hello and welcome. Ray Chrisman here from R.L. Chrisman Metalworks. Not sure if you can hear me over the noise from my RF31 mill drill. I'm machining a piece of aluminum there, just a little small project that I wasn't even going to video at first, and then I thought, well, I might as well show what I'm doing here. I'll explain a little bit more as we go along. As you can probably tell, I've got the power feed going on the x-axis on that mill drill right now. I'm cutting about 50 thousandths deep and about half the width of a piece of aluminum that's not quite 3/4 of an inch wide. It's actually about 650 thousandths wide. Like I said, I've got the power feed working. I do have the stop set on that. When it gets down towards the end, it'll automatically shut off the feed. There, the switch just shut off the feed on that. I turned the y-axis in on that a little bit there. I'm going to take a cut on the other half of that aluminum bar. Still 50 thousandths deep. You can tell I've got a pretty good sized pile of chips going there. That bar was bigger than what I needed, but it was all that I had to use to make the piece that I need. I'm making a mounting bracket. I'll show you what it's for here in a little bit. Okay, I've got that edge of that bracket down to within about 25 thousandths of what I need. What I've got here, I'm not sure how well it's going to show up on the video. This is a bracket that will mount on the side of our RV that holds an RV BBQ. It sits on the outside. And I didn't have the mounting bracket that bolts onto the side of the RV that this hangs on. What I'm doing is cutting a bracket that'll bolt on the side of the RV right here, and then this bracket will set down over the top of that. So I'm basically what I'm cutting there right now is the height of that so that it'll fit here, and then I'm going to have to cut a 45-degree angle on the edge of that. I've already cut it to the depth this way. I think I've got it close enough anyway. Like I said, now I'm working on this. I'm within about 25 thousandths now of where I need to be for that. So I'm going to go ahead and set that depth now. I'm going to make 2 more passes on that, one down each half of that, 25 thousandths deep, and then I should be at the finished diameter, all except for cutting this 45-degree angle on it, and then I'll have to drill some mounting holes in it. But anyway, let me show you how we do that. The quill on this can be operated with this hand wheel and moved down this way, or if you tighten this hand nut right here, you can use this wheel and you can feed it down, and right behind here, you can't see it in the video, but right behind here there's a dial that reads in thousandths of an inch. And if I loosen up the quill lock, I can turn this dial and lower that down, and I'm going to use the dial here and lower it down 25 thousandths of an inch. Got the quill lock again. I'm going to put a little bit of cutting oil on here. Then make these last couple of passes. I really do like that power feed on that mill drill. It's only on the X-axis, but if you plan ahead in your setup, you can use it for most of your cutting. Okay, that should be my final dimension, at least in that direction. Let me double check it here. These aren't real critical dimensions, but see what we've got. Yeah, that's about 10 thousandths under what it needs to be able to fit in the groove on that rail. So I think that'll work for that. The next thing that I need to do is I need to machine the ends here. Both ends of this stock are still rough cut. I haven't machined those yet. I have machined all four sides of this bar down to the size that I think I need to make it fit in that rail on that other bracket. So I'm going to move things around here a little bit and reset up here so I can mill the ends of that, finish those off a little bit, get them machined ends instead of just rough cut. Okay, I'm back here. I repositioned this piece in the vise. I'm going to take a cut on this end here. I've got the depth, the cutting tool set where I want it. Now I just have to move into it and then take a couple cuts on it. different on this end. This end mill is getting pretty dull. It's an old one I had laying around. I haven't drug my new ones out yet. I'm kind of saving those for some other projects that I'm going to be doing in steel. So if right now on this aluminum, I'm just using some old bits that are a little bit dull, but or end mills actually, but they'll get the job done. But on this end, I'm just going to take half a depth cut, and then I'll move it down and get the other half. I think that'll work a little better. Okay, at least now I have the ends machined square on that. It isn't the best finish with that dull bit, but I'm going to clean them up a little bit anyway. The next step in this process is I need to cut a 45-degree angle on this thing, and the best way to do it would be if I had a 45-degree angle cutter. And I don't have one. Well, actually I do have one somewhere. I'm not sure where it's at. It's an old one I've had for probably 30 years and never used, but I think the reason I have it is because it's dull and someone threw it away. I looked around for it a little bit earlier and I couldn't find it. So I've got to try to find another way to set this up to cut a 45-degree angle on one side of this thing. And I'm going to try to see if I can get it in the vise in a position to where I can make that cut. Let me play with it a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got that piece of aluminum turned into vise so that it's a 45-degree angle. Close enough to a 45-degree angle for my purposes. This isn't a precision part. Anyway, I'm going to try taking a couple cuts on this, light cuts, and see what we get. That's about 25,000 feet. Got a long ways to go on it, but the way that's in the vise like that, I don't want to take too deep a cuts on it. Well, there it is, the finished product. Got that 45-degree angle cut on there. I had to take a couple of the other corners off just a little bit. Took a 45-degree angle on them, about 50 thousandths off, to get it to slide up into the bracket right. Here, let me give you an end view of this. You can kind of see what the shape of it is, how it turned out. Got the holes drilled in it. Polished it up a little bit on the buffing wheel. Still left some of the tool marks in it, but I polished it. I think it'll do the job. I'll show you how it slides up in on that bracket now. This will bolt to the side of the trailer like this, and then this bracket hangs on it just like that. And then the barbecue will sit out here in this part. So anyway, I've had this barbecue for several years, for at least 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I've never used it because we didn't have the hose and we didn't have this bracket to mount it on the side of the trailer. We can order the hose, but I couldn't find any place to order this bracket from, so with the mill drill I was able to just go ahead and make it. Now we'll be able to use this barbecue. I'll see if I can get a shot after I get this mounted on the side of the trailer with the barbecue sitting on there. But anyway, that'll probably be in another short update video. But this piece is done, thanks to the RF31 mill drill. Thanks now. It's Ray Chrisman with R.L. Chrisman Metalworks. Happy machining.